Long ago, in a kingdom far away, there stood a magnificent castle surrounded by beautiful gardens. The king's pride was his apple orchard, where trees bore fruit of pure gold. But each morning the king discovered that one golden apple had disappeared during the night. Troubled by these thefts, the king ordered his eldest son to keep watch through the night. But as midnight approached, the prince fell into a deep sleep. When morning came, another golden apple was missing. The next night, the king's second son tried to solve the mystery, but he too succumbed to sleep, and another apple vanished. Finally, the youngest prince, often overlooked and underestimated, volunteered to stand guard. As the young prince felt sleep creeping upon him, he pinched himself and paced around the tree to stay awake. Just as the clock struck midnight, a rustling sound filled the air. Looking up, the prince beheld a magnificent bird with feathers that shimmered like pure gold in the moonlight. As the bird plucked an apple with its beak, the prince drew his bow. The prince's arrow merely grazed the bird, dislodging a single golden feather as the creature flew away. When the king saw the feather glowing like a flame in the morning light, he declared, "King, this feather is worth more than my entire kingdom. I must have the bird to which it belongs." The eldest prince set out first, confident he would succeed. On his journey, he met a fox sitting by the roadside. "Fox, where are you going in such a hurry, young man?" "Eldest prince." "That's none of your concern, you silly animal." Without the fox's guidance, the prince soon lost his way and returned empty-handed. The second prince met the same fate, dismissing the fox with equal arrogance. When the youngest prince encountered the fox, he answered kindly, "Youngest prince, I seek the golden bird, whose feather outshines all the treasures in my father's kingdom. Fox, I know this bird well. If you follow my advice without question, I will guide you to it." The fox instructed the prince to journey to a village where two inns stood opposite each other, one bright and merry, the other humble and plain. "Fox, no matter how inviting the first inn appears, stay in the modest one." Though the cheerful inn beckoned with music and laughter, the prince remembered the fox's words and chose the plain establishment. The next morning, the fox was waiting. "Fox, you have passed the first test of wisdom. Now travel to the castle where the golden bird is kept in a wooden cage. Beside it sits an empty golden cage, but do not put the bird in it, no matter how fitting it seems." The prince found the bird exactly as described. The humble wooden cage seemed unworthy of such a magnificent creature, and the golden cage gleamed invitingly. Forgetting the fox's warning, the prince thought, "Such a beautiful bird deserves a golden cage." But the moment he opened the golden cage, alarm bells rang throughout the castle. Guards seized the prince and brought him before the king, who declared, "Castle king, death is the punishment for theft, but I will spare your life on one condition. Bring me the golden horse that runs faster than the wind." In this chapter, we delve into the trials and transformations that our hero must face. Each challenge, each decision, shapes his journey and brings him closer to his destiny. Had you heeded my warning, this task would not be necessary. Now you must find the golden horse, but remember, use only the plain leather saddle, not the golden one beside it. When the prince found the golden horse, he thought, "Such a magnificent steed deserves a golden saddle." But as soon as he lifted the golden saddle, alarm sounded again. The second king spoke with a stern voice. "Second king, your punishment is death, but I will spare you if you bring me the princess from the golden castle." The fox, with a hint of frustration, addressed the prince. "Fox, twice you've ignored my counsel, twice you've failed. The princess can only be taken when she walks to the garden at midnight. Do not let her say farewell to her father, or all will be lost." When the prince met the princess, her beauty captivated him. When she begged to bid her father goodbye, he could not refuse her. Princess's father, whoever steals my daughter must earn her by moving the mountain that blocks the sun from my kingdom. Overwhelmed by this impossible task, the prince sought the fox once more. "Fox, I will help you one last time." To the prince's astonishment, the fox transformed into a man. "Fox man, I am your brother, enchanted by a jealous sorcerer years ago. Only one whose heart was pure could break the spell by failing 3 times out of compassion." Together the brothers found a hidden cavern inside the mountain where an ancient lever stood. When pulled, the mountain split in 2, allowing sunlight to flood the kingdom. And so the tale reached its joyful conclusion, where love and bravery triumphed over all adversity. The grateful king blessed the marriage of the prince and princess. The golden bird and golden horse were returned to their rightful place. The brothers journeyed home to their father's kingdom, where the enchanted prince was welcomed with joyful tears. And so they learned that compassion, not perfection, is the greatest strength of all, and that the wisdom to listen may be our most valuable treasure. From that day forward, no more golden apples disappeared from the king's orchard, for the bird now visited openly as a friend, rather than in secret as a thief. The end.